Good, excuse me. Good morning, Megapodlings. It's Crazy Joe. Wow, I started to talk and the words got caught in my throat. Let me center myself here. I'm way off center. How is everybody tonight? Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Second Wednesday and the second Crazy After Dark of 2020. I see Punk Nerd and Joey Baseball are both here. Good to see you guys. And Brandon Sullivan. Welcome. And man, it has been an interesting week for Boredom Strikes is here. Monkey Man. It has been an interesting week for the world of YouTube. If you've followed any of the Collider nonsense, talk about watching a mighty YouTube brand self-destruct. That was unfortunate. Unfortunate to say, to see. I mean, but hey, maybe all the Collider viewers will come this way. Welcome to Crazy After Dark. I doubt it, but maybe. But we're here, and that's all that matters. Punk Nerd says, first Crazy After Dark I can actually watch and listen to live. Did you see the sign I held up for you, Punk Nerd? I held a sign up for you last week. Boredom Strikes says, what happened with Collider? Wow, Boredom Strikes, I don't know that I'll do the story justice, so I'll kind of give you a brief overview. But if you go to YouTube and type in Collider, I'm sure you'll find 100 videos. They canceled basically all their popular programming, like everything that kind of made them their name. But that wasn't the worst of it. Like, that was not the worst of it. They then... their number 2 guy sent out a tweet disparaging those shows and the people that worked on them, saying that they were nothing but movie chat and fart jokes. So then they just started bleeding viewers. It's been embarrassing, but you can find it. I'm sure it's there's probably 200 videos on the subject at this point. Puck Nerd says, what was it? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a week, but I wrote a note for you because you said the volume was off. So I wrote a note and held it up. I think maybe it was Happy New Year, Punk Nerd. I don't remember because it has been a week. But I did write you a note last week, Punk Nerd. Todd is in the house. 3B Video is in the house. Gary Reed is in the house. He says he's rolled back into town from his long hiatus. First questions, have I heard about Ricky Gervais and the Golden Globes? My God, yes I did. I didn't watch them, but I heard about it. And I don't think Ricky Gervais will be hosting the Golden Globes again. That's just a gut feeling. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it. I just got a message from someone on Instagram. If you sent me a message just now on Instagram, I just saw it pop up on my screen, but I can't read it because we're doing Crazy After Dark. I'll read it later. Joey Baseball says, never cared about Collider. Kyle's Movie Corner 2000. Kyle with the brand new screen name. Hey, Joe, I kept watching the live stream from Monday and nonstop laughing hard. Well, thank you. Thank you. It was a fun live stream. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy getting out there. But, my God, I love Rick. Rick's a great guy. I love him. But my God, does he have terrible taste in movies. Love the guy. But, well, you know. Anyway, Joey says, how's my 2020 so far? So far, it's pretty good. It's uneventful, but not bad. How's your 2020 is the question. Brian A. is in the house. Welcome, Brian. Gary Reed says, I don't think Ricky Gervais really cared about hosting the Golden Globes again since he was saying what he was saying. Yeah. From what I understand, he's always been a controversial host. He's always said things that the next day people were like, you hear what Ricky Gervais said? But I think this time he probably crossed a little bit of a line. I don't think he's going to get another invite. I'm not really a fan of awards shows, though, because they're too... Like, I don't really watch any of the awards shows because they're too... Hang on a second. Jules, I'm watching you. Jules. Sorry the cat was bothering the dog. I had to take care of that. It's amazing. He can hear me. He can hear me saying, Jules, Jules, Jules. And he just keeps going. It's like, it's like, I hear you. I don't care. I want to get this dog. Anyway. Joey says, are your daughters into JoJo Siwa? I don't know what JoJo Siwa is. I enjoyed Jojo Rabbit, but the kids haven't seen it, and I want to keep it that way. It's not appropriate for them. Kyle's Movie Corner says, Rick says Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Yeah, and he's wrong. It's a Christmas movie. That's all there is to it. But the other thing is, though, it doesn't matter. Like, you watch what you want at Christmas. You know, your traditions are your traditions. Nobody can take your traditions away from you. If you watch Die Hard every Christmas, that's yours. Someone can't take that away from you. And I think it's obnoxious, really, to be like, no, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. It's like, well, you know what? No one's making you watch it. But it's rude to try to take it away from someone else. If someone else loves watching it every year, that's their tradition. And, you know, you shouldn't be a Christmas gatekeeper. I mean, let people keep Christmas in their way. You keep it in yours. But it just, I don't know. The Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. People bug me because nobody's forcing them to watch Die Hard as part of their Christmas celebration. So by throwing the Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie fit, really all they're doing is pissing on someone else's picnic. And why are you doing that? Just if you don't want to watch Die Hard at Christmas, don't watch Die Hard at Christmas. It's that simple. Just don't watch it at Christmas. But let people do what they want to do, right? That's what I say. Boredom Strike says, Rick is young, his taste will get better. I don't know, man. I don't know. Though he's not alone. A lot of people like Booksmart. I don't understand it, but a lot of people like Booksmart. Punk Nerd says, tomorrow's my birthday. Nervous for college. Well, happy birthday, Punk Nerd, and don't be nervous. Just, you know, it's just, well, I don't have good advice. And you can't tell someone not be nervous, because it doesn't work. They're going to be nervous if they're going to be nervous, but you'll get through it. You'll get through it. Let's see. Joey says, awards are bought, not won. I tried to explain that to Rick. I don't agree with that at all. Punk Nerd says, yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. You can watch it any day of the year. Exactly. And I know people who watch Christmas Vacation in the middle of July. You know, one of the most famous Christmas movies of all time is Miracle on 34th Street. You know when that was released at theaters? July. You know when most of the Halloween movies in the Halloween franchise were released at theaters? August. Like, let's see, like Halloween, something like Halloween 7, 8, the first remake, the second remake. I don't know, like at least like 4 of them were released in August. Maybe not the most of them, but almost all of them. Gary says, saying Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie is the same thing as saying Lethal Weapon isn't a Christmas movie. Again, I'm not going to be a Christmas gatekeeper. Watch what you want at Christmas. Personally, for me, I have trouble seeing Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie because Christmas isn't as integral to the plot as it is in Die Hard. But I'm not going to take it away from anyone. You want to watch Lethal Weapon at Christmas, that's fine. Biscotti Kid is here. What's up, Loco Joe? How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? Jim Dugan says, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but the Die Hard is the best Christmas movie crowd are the worst. I don't know if they're the worst, but I don't know. I don't know. Backwin says, what's good, my dude and dudettes? Jesse says, I was watching Traded Places at Christmas. I consider it one, even though that ain't the main plot. Apparently, Jesse, and I just recently found this out, apparently in Britain, there's not even a debate. In Britain, Trading Places is a Christmas movie. That is considered a classic Christmas movie in Britain. I didn't know that. I just found that out recently, but apparently there's not even a debate there. It's just, yeah, that's a Christmas movie. Marie says, hi, Joe from Gary. Joe, Gary, and I. Hello, Marie. Yes, I'm coming to PA, and yes, Sesame Place. We look forward to it. Just let us know when. The longer you can in advance you could tell us, the better, because everything in our lives seems to be dictated by the calendar. So we'd be happy to go to Sesame Place with you, but we got to get it on the calendar as soon as humanly possible so that someone doesn't make other plans that weekend. So the sooner you can tell us, the better. Backwind says, and Die Hard was released in June or July despite taking place at Christmas. Exactly. Same as Miracle at 34th Street. Brian says, I was surprised to see how many New Year's themed movies there are. J2H says, Joe! J2H! We got to record another podcast soon. Speaking of which, there's going to be some changes to the podcast. My goal is to have it out more frequently, but I'm going to be making some changes to the format. Gary says, how can we win your popcorn bucket? Is that contest over? Sorry, I've been on a long hiatus. I haven't announced the contest yet. I'm still trying to figure out what it's going to be. The hardest part of having a contest is figuring out what the contest is, let me tell you. I don't know. I got to put my heads together with, Christine and some other people and get suggestions on how we do it this year. But I can guarantee you will not be guessing Christine's order on something. That will not be the secret ingredient this year. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just a reminder, our good pal Super Chat Hippo is with us. If you want to hear from Super Chat Hippo, he'd love to hear from you. Lisa is in the house. Lisa says, hi, Joe. What do you know? Welcome, Lisa. Good to see you. Good to see you in Cinema Sickness's stream the other day. Sam says, Joe with the facts. What facts was I given? I don't remember. But you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you will have the facts of life. Because there is a time you got to go and show you're growing now. You know about the facts of life. Because the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, and suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you. I don't know if you knew that, but it's advice to take to heart. Biscani Kid says, did I watch the awards show? Yeah, no, I like I was saying, I don't really watch awards shows. In 1977, a little movie called Star Wars did not win Best Picture. Annie Hall did. Yeah, Annie Hall. I know a lot of people like Annie Hall, but is Annie Hall anywhere near as significant to our culture as Star Wars is? Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in awards shows, quite frankly. I feel like they always pick kind of I don't know. They get it right sometimes, but so many times the great movies don't get even nominations. But I don't know. I have trouble with awards shows. Kyle says, to me, the best Die Hard knockoff is Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. Punk Nerd says, I want the popcorn bucket. We will come up with a contest for the bucket. We will. Connor McGregor says, did I get the Joker yet? Does this answer your question? Boom! There it is. There's the Joker. Why so serious? Did you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? There he is. Yeah, I got the Joker. Marty McFly says, how often do you use the Coca-Cola popcorn thing behind you? Multiple times a week. In fact, it has not even been cleaned since the last time I used it, which was just yesterday. There's still popcorn kernels in there. I got to clean that. I got to come down here and clean that out real good. But yeah, no, we use that all the time. Where was I? I got lost. I'm sorry. Scott says, Happy New Year, Joe and the Chatters. Happy New Year, Scott. Welcome. Todd says, Facts of Life song written by Alan Thicke. Indeed, he also wrote, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man of means. Then along come two. They got nothing but their genes, but they got different strokes it takes. Different strokes to move the world. Anyway. Marty says, have your audience guess the Rotten Tomatoes critic score for an upcoming movie. Closest person gets the bucket. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad. Huh. Maybe, perhaps. Lisa says Cinema Sickness took down his live stream with you. I was late and wanted to. Oh, Lisa, it's back up now. It's back up. He always takes down the live version because he likes to put up an HD version. So he records it on two cameras. The one that is showing it live and another one that is shooting it in HD. He takes down the stream, then he puts it back up in a couple days on the other camera so that it's in HD. So I got tagged in it. I got tagged in it today, so I know he did post it today, and it's back up there. But yeah, that's his standard procedure. He does it live, takes it down, then reposts it in HD a couple days later. J2H says, Joe, Phoenix or Ledger Joker? You got to pick one. I picked Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson, without question. Nicholson, that's my Joker. If I got to go between Phoenix and Ledger, I guess I go Phoenix. I think Phoenix was closer. No. Yeah, Phoenix. Phoenix was closer to the Joker, I think, than Ledger. Ledger was doing his own thing. And it was good. It was entertaining. It was a good performance. It really wasn't the Joker, though. Yeah, I don't know. Ledger was a reinvention of a character that didn't need to be reinvented. I mean, he was a character that was perfect, and you don't need to reinvent something that's perfect. He gave a good performance, no question. Really good performance, but it just did. I have trouble seeing his character as the Joker. Anyway, Joey says, I have a serious life question. Why do shopping carts always tilt to the left or right, but never straight? I've never noticed this. I always get the cart that the wheel doesn't want to turn, though. Sam says, how's it going with the Letterboxd reviews? God, I haven't written a Letterboxd review in forever. I should do that. In fact, there's a couple movies I've watched that aren't even up on Letterboxd. Gary says, remember when The Hurt Locker beat Avatar for Best Picture? I was happy since Avatar hasn't held up over time, but Jack Nicholson deserved the Oscar over Gene Hackman back in 93. I always go back to the 94 Oscars. Ed Wood. Now, Martin Landau got nominated. Martin Landau got nominated for Best Supporting Actor and won. But Ed Wood wasn't even nominated for Best Picture that year. And I think it was easily one of the best pictures that year. Nothing against Quiz Show. Quiz Show's a fine film. But I don't think Quiz Show should have been up for Best Picture. I think Ed Wood should have had that slot. Connor says, did I get any of the new Star Wars toys from McDonald's? I did, and they're kind of weak, honestly. They're on my desk at work, but I'm not really crazy about them. These toys from Burger King from 09 for the 09 Star Trek, these were actually better. Like, I like these better. They all talked.
Live long and prosper.
I really liked these. Where's Dr. McCoy? Dr. McCoy is actually my favorite.
I'm a doctor, not a physicist. I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
Actually, I don't know. Dr. McCoy might be my favorite, but my favorite might be Scotty. I like these, but I think these were really good. I don't know. The Star Wars ones, they're okay, I guess, but they kind of they pull out and they have a little hologram that's really hard to see on them. I think they could have done a better job with Star Wars Happy Meal toys. Greg's Game Room just came in, says, did I see the announcements from Arcade 1-Up? I got a text message from a friend telling me they're doing Burger Time, but that's the only one I've seen is Burger Time. Is there anything else? Oh my God, if they're doing Tron, I'll tell you, man, if they're doing Tron, where am I going to put the machine? That's like the only other one that they could do that would hit me like the Star Wars one, is if they did Tron. Did they do Tron? Greg, tell me they did Tron. Don't tell me they did Tron. I don't want them to do Tron because I don't have room for it. I don't have room for it in my house. Burger Time, Golden Axe. Golden Axe is a good one. NBA Jam. G2H says, nothing against Nicholson. Just wanted Joe to pick between my two favorite. Between those two, I pick Phoenix. Absolutely. Remember, Biscotti Kid says, remember when Marissa Tomei won an Oscar for My Cousin Vinny? I do remember that. That was a good one, actually. Steven says, have I seen a film called Hawk the Slayer? I have. Have seen Hawk the Slayer. That's a fun movie. Greg says, no news on Tron. That's actually good news. I got nowhere to put a Tron machine and I can't afford it. And let's face it, if they put a Tron machine out, I would be saving my pennies and trying to figure out where to put a Tron machine. So let's, for the sake of my sanity and my wife's sanity, let's hope they never put a Tron out. Donald Richardson says Martin Landau won the Oscar, then he starred in Baps. Baps was god-awful. You know, Martin Landau, I'll never forget when Kennedy, everyone remember Kennedy from MTV? Kennedy, MTV, VJ, Kennedy. She, in 96, she went to the premiere of Mission Impossible, the first Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, and Martin Landau was there. And she asked Martin Landau, why are you here? And he said, well, because I starred on the TV show. And she said, there was a TV show? And Martin Landau just went off. He was like, don't you do your research? How did you not know there was a TV show? It was actually like just, I was so embarrassed for Kennedy. I'm like, oh my God, how did you not know? And Martin Landau was right. It's like, you're covering this and you didn't know there was a TV show? You did no research? You didn't prepare yourself in any way? Jim says, I don't know who Kennedy is. She was an MTV VJ back in the 90s. Donald says, Kennedy had glasses and curly hair, right? Yeah, dark hair and glasses. Biscotti Kid says, Kennedy was cute. She was cute, but my God, that was embarrassing when she said to Martin Landau, oh, there was a TV show. Connor says, am I excited for Tron coming to the Magic Kingdom? Yes, Connor, I am absolutely. Wait, hang on a second. I'll get back to you in a second, Connor. What's this? Gary says, Joe, you should do a let's play of the original Star Wars arcade game since you now have the machine. What does that mean? What is a let's play? Gary, give me the details. I don't know what that means. I did do a video like where I sat and played it, and I did like a kind of a review of it. Is that what you mean? Connor says, are you excited for Tron coming to the Magic Kingdom? I'm excited, but I'm hoping they make one major change from the Shanghai version. Obviously, I haven't been on the Shanghai version. I've never been to Shanghai. But I've seen videos, I've seen pictures. And the Shanghai version has a part that goes outside. And I remember the first time I saw that picture, I said, oh my God, why is it going to go outside? You can't go outside. That spoils the illusion. The whole thing is you're supposed to feel like you're on the grid. And as soon as you go out and see the castle or the Magic Kingdom or something, as soon as you're outside, the illusion gets spoiled. Like, why would you do that? Like, keep it inside on a track so you can create that illusion that people are on a light cycle on the grid, because the second it goes outside, you're going to shatter that illusion. And I remember thinking to myself, like, well, why did they do that? And I thought, well, I really hope that when it comes to Florida, they correct that, because that was a terrible idea to have the light cycle go outside. So I don't know. I'm excited, but that little thing bothered me. Greg says they have a seat for the Star Wars cab to make it more like a sit-down cab. I have a stool over there right now. Also, a Frogger cabinet with Time Pilot. Oh wow, Frogger's attempting one. Punk Nerd says gotta go soon. Punk Nerd, thanks for stopping in. Stay tuned. We'll have details on the bucket contest soon. Lisa says, Kennedy, red curly hair and thick rimmed glasses back in the day with Pauly Shore. Yeah, it was back in the 90s era. Marty says, I bet she did the same thing with the Brady Bunch movie. Monkey Man says, Kennedy is on Fox News. Yeah, you know, I think think I did see or hear that somewhere, which seems odd that you would. I don't know. I guess she's looking for work. Gary says, play the arcade games, set up a camera on a tripod, and you could have both hands to play the games and stream it live. It would be fun for us to see who weren't alive when it came out. I do need to get a new tripod. Ever since my tripod broke, but yeah, I do need to get a new tripod. But yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe I'll do just like a live stream, like Greg does those live streams where he plays games live on the air. And if you're not subscribed to Greg's Game Room, go over, give him a sub. Greg says it looks like they're doing those little Coleco units that look like the original ones. They're gonna. They really know how to hit the nostalgia bone, Greg. I'll tell you. Like, I see the cabinets they're doing, like that Burger Time one. I was like, oh, Burger Time, that's amazing. Lisa says, I think Tron does go outside, but is covered by that curved roof thingy. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I hope it doesn't spoil the illusion. Kyle says, good night, Joe. Good night, Kyle. Thanks for stopping by. Biscotti Kid says, oh, I hope so. ColecoVision had the best arcade ports back in the day. Where Guy Metalman says, you know Deep Space Nine really was a great show. How would you rate Babylon 5 in the Stargate series? Well, I'm a huge fan of Babylon 5. I'm actually wearing a Babylon 5 t-shirt right now. And actually, I should take a moment to point out, because my brother called me out on this. I got a text from my brother. I did a video called What I Got for Christmas, and I left something out. My brother's like, you forgot the book! My brother gave me J. Michael Straczynski, the creator of Babylon 5's autobiography, Becoming Superman. Now, I got to tell you, this book is fascinating. This is a great book. If you have any interest in the work of J. Michael Straczynski, obviously he created Babylon 5. He also created the TV show Sense8 that was on Netflix. He was a head writer on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, The Real Ghostbusters, and wrote the series Bible for She-Ra, Princess of Power. Heck of a writer. Very, impressive career. Wrote the first Thor movie, which is still one of my favorite Marvel movies, the one Kenneth Branagh directed, and had a cameo in it. But I got this book, and a lot of times when you're reading an autobiography, you'll get the part where they're growing up. And I was born in a small town, my dad did this, my mom did that. And that's usually the boring part. I mean, it's not necessarily boring, but it's usually like, what made you want to read about them? You want to learn about when they did the thing that they did, right? So that's usually one of the more boring parts of the book, I think. Well, this book starts right out with his family. The most fascinating part of the book, where J. Michael Straczynski came from, his upbringing, his life. I never could have predicted it. It's like something out of a bad Lifetime movie. It's like Stranger Than Fiction, and it's fascinating and it's good. And this is just a terrific read. I mean, look. I am on page 234. And I'm just getting to the part where he starts writing He-Man. All of this, growing up in college, and every bit of it fascinating. I don't want to give things away, but let's just say there's incest, there's hookers, there's Nazis, there's like things you would think like, that can't be true. That can't be true. All of it true. Insanity, this book. Insanity. A must read. A must read. If you're a fan, even if you don't like J. Michael Straczynski, that is one fascinating book. I gotta tell you, I can't put the thing down. So anyway, you asked the question. Where does Babylon 5 and the Stargate shows fall? Babylon 5, way up the top. Huge fan. I don't like it as much as Star Trek. I like it better than some of the Star Treks. Like, I think I'd take Babylon 5 over Star Trek Voyager. But I'd probably take... And this isn't a knock on the show either, because I like Enterprise. I like Enterprise a lot. But I'd probably take Babylon 5 over Enterprise. The Stargate shows, I really had trouble getting into Stargate. Stargate SG-1, I never really got into it. I used to tune in every now and then. I would see an episode I liked here and there, but I never was a big Stargate SG-1 fan. I liked Stargate Atlantis a lot better than SG-1. And I thought SGU, Stargate Universe, was probably the best of the Stargate series. That was probably the one I liked the most. And it was also the shortest lived. So that's where I stand with Babylon 5 and Stargate. Anyway, let's get back. I am missing stuff. I'm sorry. J2H says, Joe, when he's starting The Boys, hopefully very soon. Jim says he probably thought you returned it. I didn't. You know what? The thing was, I went and gathered all the things I got, and they were all around here. I was able to gather them up. That wasn't down here because it was up by my bed because I was reading it. That's why it wasn't in the video. A Donkey Kong one with the 3 games would be great, but I doubt Nintendo would do that, though. Yeah, I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't tried to do their own version of Arcade 1-Up yet, since it's been so successful. Gary says, imagine if someone found Mel Brooks at the Get Smart premiere in 2008 and didn't realize Get Smart was a TV show back in the day. Wouldn't it have been funny to hear Mel Brooks go off? That would have been funny. Mel Brooks would have made a big joke out of it, though. Yeah, that would have been good. All right, guys, I'm way behind. I don't mind. Sorry, I'm going to be skipping around here a little. If I skip a burning question, and you really want it answered, get back to it. I'm sorry. Backwoods says, Friday the 13th is one of my guilty pleasures. I've seen the first 4, and Jason Lives multiple times a year. I like the Friday the 13th movies. I like Nightmare on Elm Street better, though. I've always been more of a Freddy guy. I was a huge Freddy fan growing up. Greg says, did I see Cats? I did not see Cats. Talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, I think Cats is probably more of a nightmare than anything Freddy Krueger ever did. Gary says, heated topic. Since you're wearing the shirt, DS9 or Babylon 5, which is better? DS9. I don't even have to think about it. DS9. Also, do you believe that Star Trek plagiarized Straczynski? Sorry, Joe, I can't remember how to spell his name. That's all right. I think Joe Straczynski probably doesn't remember how to spell his name sometimes. He's got a complex name. Straczynski actually does get into that in this book, I believe. It sounds like there was an exchange of ideas between Paramount and Warner Brothers, from what I understand. I don't know. There may have been. I don't think it was plagiarism, but I read somewhere that there was a plan, and apparently this is an excerpt from his book, but apparently there was a plan for Warner Brothers and Paramount to create a new network together. And Straczynski's show, Babylon 5, was going to be like one of the ideas. So Paramount had access to the show and was kind of, I don't know, it's something like that. It sounds like there was some kind of exchange of ideas. Both shows were so significantly different from one another that I don't think it matters. Other than a space station setting, they really don't have a lot in common. They went in wildly different directions once they got going. So I don't know. I like them both. I think they're both great. So was one influenced by the other? At the end of the day, who really cares? They both were good. And Bill Mumy appeared on both shows. And so did Luoxana Troy. No, not Majel Barrett. She was playing Luoxana Troy on Babylon 5. She was playing a Centauri. Backward says, my favorite movie this year was either Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Godzilla King of the Monsters. I am going to keep my mouth shut on my favorite movies of the year because that is going to be a video, and I have a guest joining me for it. That'll be fun. And apparently my guest already put out a video with his top films of the year, and I haven't watched it. I told him, I said, I'm not going to watch it because I want to be surprised when you unleash your list on me. And he said, well, do you think it matters that my audience will have already seen it? I said, nah. Because the discussion we have about it will be brand new. So, excuse me, I'm getting a cramp on my foot here. I'm sorry, I'm standing up because I have a little bit of a cramp on my foot. I apologize. Anyway, Donald says, I've heard Cats is much more fun as much fun as a screen door in a battleship. Noah says, recommend some horror movies to get me introduced into the horror scene. Well, it's really difficult, Noah, because horror is very, like any genre, is very subjective to what you like. Some of my favorite horror films you may not care for at all. Right off the bat, I'm going to go with Matt Reeves' Let Me In, the American remake of the Swedish film Let the Right One In. And both versions, the original and Matt Reeves' remake, both stellar. Both absolutely stellar. I think Matt Reeves has the slight edge. I think his is slightly better. But they're both really good. I would pick, this is more in the horror comedy realm. But, I mean, there's horror in there, and there's comedy in there. It manages to do both effectively. I would say the Michael J. Fox, Peter Jackson film, The Frighteners. That's a film that doesn't get the love it deserves. I think it's really, really good. Those are two that come to mind. But again, tastes are subjective, so I don't know if that's the kind of horror you're looking for. But those are two that I love. Marty says, Cats made me say something I never thought I would say. I miss Bill Murray as Garfield. It always struck me as weird that Lorenzo Music was the voice of Garfield and the voice of Peter Venkman. And then years later, the guy who played Peter Venkman was the voice of Garfield. Very strange. Very strange. Movie Hunter is here. Welcome, Movie Hunter. Welcome to the party. Jim Duggan says, I know who, and I look forward to seeing it. You might be right. Then again, you might not. But then again, you might be right. But then again, you might not. I don't know. We'll see. Bachno says, hey, Joe, did you see my riveting guest appearance on Tuesday's Cinema Sickness show? I did, and it was riveting. Backwid says, what I mean by that is the intro freezes and then the audio plays before the match starts. You're talking to Greg. I'm sorry. I missed the first part of that statement. Connor says, am I as excited for Matt Reeves' Batman? Did I see the leaked set photos? I did not see leaked set photos, but I'm super excited for the movie. I think the cast is amazing. I'm a big fan of Matt Reeves. I think Matt Reeves is a heck of a filmmaker. Yeah, I'm psyched. Bring it on. Bring on Batman. I'm also really excited to see how these Batman movies tie into the DC Cinematic Universe going on. I think they're pretty much in retcon mode. I think that a lot of the stuff that happened before Justice League is just going to kind of be ignored continuity-wise, because James Gunn has already said that his Suicide Squad movie is set in the same world as Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' Batman. So, and the producers of Batman said, this has no connection to Ben Affleck, but we're going to connect it later on. It's going to be, I think we're looking at retcon. I think it's basically like, previous continuity doesn't matter. It's what we're doing now that matters. So, Robert Pattinson could walk into a room and meet Wonder Woman, and we're just going to ignore the fact that Wonder Woman already met a different Batman. That's kind of what I'm thinking they're doing, but we're not going to really know till they do it, will we? Sam says, Blumhouse is great. Don't love all their films, but still love the company. Blumhouse has done some really good stuff. They've also done some horrible stuff. Their new Black Christmas was really bad. The Happy Death Day films are a lot of fun. I really liked Happy Death Day. And, yeah, they've done some fun things. Noah says, I'm down for anything but Exorcism or Ouija movies. Lisa says, it's David Bowie and Elvis's birthday today. What's your favorite work from each of them? Oh, I should also mention, you know who else is having a birthday today? Actor Larry Storch. Larry Storch, Corporal Agarn from F Troop. 97 years old today. 97 years old. So happy birthday to Larry Storch. God bless him. Also, the voice of the Joker. We were talking about favorite Jokers. He was the voice of the Joker back in the 60s on the Batman Superman Hour from Filmation. So Larry Storch was one of the Jokers. But yeah, happy 97th to Larry Storch. Elvis Presley, huge fan of Elvis, especially the crazy years when he would shoot televisions and stuff. What's my favorite work from David Bowie and Elvis? For David Bowie, it's got to be Labyrinth. How can it not be? I'm a Henson fan. It's got to be Labyrinth for David Bowie, without question. Elvis, I always love the song Kentucky Rain. Kentucky Rain's my favorite Elvis song, so that's my answer there. Kentucky Rain and Labyrinth. Connor says the leaked set photos had Colin Farrell as the Penguin and Zeppelins that reminded me of the animated series. I think we're in for a treat, man. I think this new Batman movie is going to be really good. Tuffy says, did I like Joker? Just watched it. Todd Phillips has come a long way since the G.G. Allen documentary. Yeah, Joker's great, man. I already said I picked it up already. Yeah, this was one of the best films of the year, without question. I really love this movie. Yeah, this was a terrific movie. Absolutely terrific. One of the year's best. Backweight says, I wonder if the new Batman movie will be put under the DC Black label like Joker did. I don't think so. I don't think so. They've been trying so hard to rebuild the cinematic universe and doing such a great job. Doing such a great job. Shazam, my God. Make a superhero movie as good as Shazam. That's going to be a tough one to beat. Shazam is so good. Wonder Woman 84 looks incredible. And I can't wait to see James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I really wish they'd tone it back on their R ratings. I think they're overdoing it with the R ratings, but and I don't think you'll ever see an R-rated Batman. That'll never happen. Batman has to have the widest appeal possible. He's one of their major tentpoles. And I don't think he should be rated R. I don't think Titans should be rated R either. But they're doing, well, I mean, technically it's not rated R because it's television, but if the Titans TV series was a movie, it would be rated R. And you shouldn't, that's not necessary. And it's a good show. It's a good show, but it's totally not necessary. Gary Reed says, I got to go, Joe. I have to record another podcast, but as usual, I have to leave you with a one-liner. Why are most Italian men named Tony? When they got on the boat to America, they stamped to New York on their foreheads. Very good, very good. Marty says Larry Storch was also part of the original Ghostbusters team. That's right. We're the Ghostbusters. Yep, absolutely. Does anyone know, is Filmation's Ghostbusters, not the animated series, not the Ghostbusters animated series by Filmation, but is the live action with Larry Storch, Bob Burns, and Forrest Tucker, is that on DVD? I'd like to get it if it is. Sam says they're doing a third Happy Death Day and it's supposed to be a monster movie, not like the first two. I heard they were not doing another Happy Death Day. I thought it was fascinating how Happy Death Day to You kind of, it wasn't really a horror film. It was more of a sci-fi film. I do need to remind you, Super Chat Hippo is here. If you'd like to hear from Super Chat Hippo, he would love to hear from you. Isn't that right, Super Chat Hippo? It's a good boy. I should have brought him with me to the live stream at Cinema Sicknesses the other day. Donald Richardson says, what's your favorite concert you've been to? Anytime I see the Monkees, I'm happy. I got tickets to see Mickey Dolenz in about a month, I guess. Ooh, yeah, in about a month I'm seeing Mickey Dolenz. But yeah, anytime I see the Monkees is great. I've seen They Might Be Giants more times than I can count. I'm a huge They Might Be Giants fan. Not as much as I used to be. I used to be, like in college, I was super big They Might Be Giants fan. The Aquabats always put a great show on. The Aquabats are so entertaining. I don't really go to concerts so much anymore, though, because I'm old. But I still go see like the Monkees when they come around because they're old too, so we can be old together, though they're older than I am. But Bohemian says, I'm ready to see Robert Pattinson as Batman. Me too. Is Birds of Prey part of the DCEU? It absolutely is. Yes, yes. Connor says, I know Birds of Prey was confirmed rated R. Yes, I'm disappointed in that, but I'm still excited for the movie. The movie looks really good, and Christina Dodson wrote the script. Christina Dodson's also writing the script for Flash, and she wrote Bumblebee. So I'm excited. She's got my trust. After Bumblebee, she has my trust. Of course, will the director adhere to her script? That's always a question. And I'm not familiar with the director of Birds of Prey. What's her name? Kathy Yan, I believe is her name. I haven't seen any of her previous work, so I can't say if I like her as a director, but I know I like the screenwriter. Jamel says, hi, Joe. Hello, Jamel. Good to see you, Jamel. Jamel says, I like your hippo. Thank you, Jamel. Marty says, it was on DVD, but it's been out of print since 09. Ah, darn. Bohemian says, CS needs his version of the Super Chat hippo. You know something? I don't know that he does. He gets more Super Chats than I do without a hippo. So I got the hippo and get less than he does. So whatever he's doing is working. He also gets Patreon patrons. Like every day he's got another Patreon patron. I'm like, I never get Patreon patrons. Like I got a few, obviously. But anytime I'm like, hey, support us on Patreon. No, nothing. Then he gets like 10 more in a week. So-and-so just became a $1 patron. So-and-so is $1 patron. I don't know what he's doing, man, but whatever he's doing is working. Whatever he's doing is working. I've almost got enough patrons to break even on the podcast. Almost. Jamel says, oh, I read that already. Connor says, how do you think Ewan McGregor will be as Black Mask? That's interesting because they're not even calling him the Black Mask in the movie. I don't know. I mean, he's a good actor, so I look forward to it. Lisa says, did I look up the ska band The Agents yet? Oh, Lisa, I forgot. I am so sorry. I'm very forgetful. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Where did I write it down? I'm writing it down again. Ska band The Agents. But I am a big ska fan, so I look forward to hearing it. Brandon says, live action filmation Ghostbusters goes for $100 plus on Amazon Marketplace. Yeah, I ain't paying that much for it. That's for sure. I wonder if CS has that in his collection already. Backwed says, I'm just hoping Black Mask will wear the mask for the entire film and not be unmasked for 90% of the film. I think he's probably going to be unmasked because I haven't seen him wear the mask even once in any of the previews I've seen. Marty says I need a Patreon parakeet. I think I need better Patreon perks. I know CS lets you see his videos early. I've thought about that, but I always feel like most of my stuff is movie reviews. I feel like people want the movie reviews before they see the movie. They want to hear what you think before they go to the movies, so therefore it's timely, and therefore if I'm holding it up, I don't know. Then I'd say, well, the Lunchbox Bunches I put out early. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you get Lunchbox Bunches on Mondays. But the problem there is I haven't had a Lunchbox Bunch in a while because Dave and I can never get together. So I got to find a better perk. I don't know what the perk would be, but I gotta find something. Backwood says I already read that. Bohemian says, if I wasn't part-time, I would do $1 for you and for CS. Well, thank you, Bohemian. I appreciate it. I'd like to make more off these videos so that I could put more into these videos. I would like to make more so that I could buy a better sound system. I'd like to make them sound better. I'd like to buy better editing software instead of, I'm just use iMovies. I want to take any money that comes in and improve the quality of the product. But right now, the money coming in is so low that it basically, not yet. It's still a pipe dream. But I'd like to improve the quality of what you see and what you hear, and that costs money that, quite frankly, I don't have right now. So that's the goal. The more patrons I get, the more super chats I get, I can start to put money into the podcast. I can't even afford to buy a tripod right now. That's part of the reason I don't have a tripod right now, is because it's like, our money is tight. You have no idea. Our money is tight. It won't be for long. Another year, things will start to look better. But that's where we stand. Marty says, would I watch another Inspector Gadget movie? You know, Marty, I've never seen the first Inspector Gadget movie. I thought about watching it, though, on Disney+. Plus. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll watch that. Tuffy Perkins says, am I a fan of the X-Files? Yes and no. I'm not really a fan of the mythology of the X-Files, but this DVD here has, 8 episodes? I think there's 8 episodes, 8 critical episodes handpicked by the series creator. These are like 8 of the best episodes of the X-Files ever, including Bad Blood, which is my favorite episode of the series. A lot of the standalone episodes I think are terrific, and I'm a big fan of them. Like Bad Blood's one of my favorites. The one that just aired a couple of years ago when they came back for season 11, was it? Or season 10, Mulder and Scully versus the Were-Monster. That was a great one. But the mythology of the aliens and the cigarette smoking man and all that complex conspiracy theory stuff, that stuff I'm not really into. So for me, the X-Files is very much a hit or miss show. And when it's great, it's great. Are you a fan, Tuffy? That's the question. Connor says, did I ever watch Punisher or Daredevil on Netflix? I watched Daredevil. I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. Never saw season 3. And I never saw the Punisher series. Movie John is in the house. What's going on, Crazy Joe? Not much here, Movie John. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the party. Marty says, make a few podcasts exclusive to Patreon. That's possible, but I don't know. Is there a demand for that? It becomes the question. I should give it a try. Doesn't hurt to give it a try, right? Bohemian says, UCS Top Pops, Wally B26, and other YouTubers inspired me to do YouTube, but I don't have the money or time to film anything. Well, go for it, man. Go for it. It's good fun. Movie John, if you ever get a chance to watch... Movie John, do you have Hulu? All the X-Files episodes are on Hulu. If you've got Hulu, just watch the episode Bad Blood. It's a vampire episode. It's a vampire episode, and it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Best episode of the series. Nope, just Netflix. Yeah, unfortunately, it's only on Hulu because it's a Disney property now. So all the Disney stuff is either on Hulu or Disney Plus. Noah says, could you see a Married with Children reboot working today? Would people get too offended now? Maybe that would be the thing that would make it work. Maybe we're so PC now that we need a show like Married with Children more than ever. I don't know. I know David Faustino was working on a Married with Children spinoff about Bud. I don't know whatever happened to it, but he was going to get like the full cast back. But I think it was going to be Bud and Bud's family. And the others were going to make, I guess, like basically like Fuller House, but Bud would be the lead. I would have watched it. I'd give it a shot. I mean, the worst that happens is it's not good, right? It's either going to be good or it's not. Worst case, it's not good. But I give it a shot and watch it. Sure, I'd check it out. You get my curiosity. All the shows they bring back. Murphy Brown, Mad About You just came back. What was it? Full House. All the shows they bring back. Roseanne, or The Connors as it's now called. They're all shows that I didn't like the first time around. They're all shows that I was not a fan of. I'd love it if they brought back a show I actually liked, like Married with Children or Cheers. Cheers would be easy to bring back. Sam has a kid. Sam's kid inherits the bar. So you could have Sam's kid as the main character. Woody and Kelly's kid could be a character. Frederick Crane could be a character. But you still got Norman Cliff sitting at the end of the bar. And Sam still shows up, kind of gives his son guidance. I mean, that works. You could do that. I'd watch it. Or if it's terrible, then I wouldn't watch it. But I'd give it a shot. Joey says, I never want to hear the phrase digital for technology ever again. I don't know what that phrase means, to be honest. I've never heard that. Movie John says, do you like documentaries? I love documentaries. I absolutely love documentaries. I'm a huge fan of documentaries. Lisa says it would have to be with Ed O'Neill for it to work. Ed O'Neill would have to show up, but I don't think they'd ever get him as a regular. I think Grandpa Al would have to show up frequently, though. J2H says, Mad About You came back. Yes, Mad About You came back with Paul Reiser, Helen Hunt. They got the original cast back, but it's like on some streaming service that I have never heard of. You'd have to Google where it's airing because it's a it's a streaming service I'm not at all familiar with. But I wasn't a fan of Mad About You again. And what was the other one? Will and Grace. Hated Will and Grace. They brought Will and Grace back. Hated Will and Grace. They don't bring back the things I want to see. Connor says, what Fox property should get a ride at Disney? I still want an alien dark ride like the one in Great Movie Ride. What Fox property should get a ride? I think they could do a fun Independence Day ride. Put it like in Tomorrowland or something. Or Hollywood Studios. Yeah, I'd say Independence Day. Based on the original 96 movie, though, not the sequel. 350 Days is a good doc on wrestling in the 70s and 80s. I haven't heard of that one, but I'm going to write it down. That was my era of wrestling. I am not a wrestling fan today, but I was a wrestling fan in the 80s. Part of the reason I'm not a wrestling fan today is I just don't think it has the same flair as it used to. And by flair, I'm not talking Rick. Woo! Yeah, I went there. No, it's not what I meant. That pun was unintentional, but I will lean into it. I'm not too good to lean into a good pun if it comes my way. The movie John says, yeah, Cheers was my favorite. It should come back. Tuffy says, would Sam be bald? I'm assuming Ted Danson would look the same as he does on The Good Place. Joey says digital fur technology is what they use to make the fur of the cats. Oh, okay. Bohemian Movies and More says, I wish they bring back Mork and Mindy where their son is an adult in a kid's body and him having kids, but we don't have Robin Williams anymore. That's true. But maybe you get around that with, you know what, you might be able to do Mork and Mindy without Robin Williams because the Orkins turn into kids as they get older. Obviously, Mirth was an old man. Jonathan Winters, he was their newborn. So Robin Williams was an adult. So now it's been 40 years later. So now if Mork's an old man, you would have to cast a child to play Mork, right? Noah says a cable company called Spectrum, which I have, has Mad About You as Spectrum Originals on demand. Joey says, is there a more famous wrestler of all time more famous than The Rock? I don't know. I would say The Rock and Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Those are probably the most famous, like world famous wrestlers, like known by everybody. Maybe Jesse Ventura because of the movies he did and being the governor. I mean, he had a higher level of fame than most. But yeah, I'd say The Rock and Hulk Hogan are the two top most famous wrestlers with the masses of all time. Then probably just a notch between under The Rock and Hulk Hogan, you'd probably have Andre the Giant. Bohemian says, I should have known it's been a few years since I watched Mork and Mindy. Noah Kaiser says John Cena's is pretty famous. He's getting there. He's definitely getting there. Brandon says, I'm curious about the Punky Brewster series. Yes, Punky Brewster's got a reboot coming to the Peacock Network. Does anyone know when Peacock premieres? I'm curious. I want to hear more about their Battlestar Galactica, quite frankly. Movie John says Stone Cold is pretty famous too. Movie John says I got a new collection video update. I just saw it. I saw you. Well, I didn't watch it yet, but I saw you. I got the email alert. I got to watch that. New email video. Yeah, collection update video dropped at 8, where I talk about 350 Days and another doc I got on Back to the Future called Back in Time. I got Back in Time. I own Back in Time. That's a good documentary. In fact, I think, God, I can't remember. But I think I supported it on Kickstarter. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. My head's, I'm just a jumble anymore. Scott says my iPad won't let me send a super chat. Is there a setting? Oh, thank you, Scott. I don't know. I know on my screen I just see a little $sign in the bottom, and you click on that. Can I send myself a super chat? I wonder. Let's see. Oh, but you know what? I'm not signed in as myself on the iPad. I have multiple screen names. I'm signed in as another screen name. So that's why. That's why I'm seeing the super chat there. Anyway. Marty says, and Randy Savage, step into a Slim Jim. Snap into a Slim Jim. Murray says, reboot Punky Brewster. Yeesh. I watched her as a kid. Me too. I loved Punky Brewster. I was such a big fan. Yeah, it's going to be about Punky is a divorced single mother now, raising her kids. That's the story. So that's going to be an interesting one because it really doesn't sound anything like Punky Brewster. The only thing that makes it Punky Brewster is the fact that the character is Punky Brewster. That's because you're not going to have any of the supporting characters. Mr. Warnemont's dead. Henry Warnemont's dead. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's Punky because it's the same actress and they say it's Punky, but it's not going to bear much of a resemblance. Jim says Jay Leto had a wrestling match at WCW. Maybe he wins, or Karl Malone. Marty says Back to the Future series focusing on a young Doc inventing things in the 50s would be cool. I've always said I don't want to see a Back to the Future 4, but I would happily watch a Back to the Future spinoff. Oh! Scott! Super Chat! $1.99, and it says Super Chat test. Thank you, Scott. I thank you. Super Chat Hippo thanks you. What was that? Say it again. He says, thank you, Scott. We appreciate it. Thank you. Brandon says she comes across a girl that reminds her of herself as a kid and tries to help her. Is that the premise of the show? I had heard it was going to be like she's a divorced mother, but she still has a good relationship with her ex-husband, and she's raising a daughter. Movie John says Alf should come back. I totally agree. They tried to bring Alf back. They said they couldn't find a network. With all these streaming services, how can you tell me nobody wanted Alf? That doesn't make sense. If Netflix doesn't want him, go to CBS All Access. If CBS All Access doesn't want him, go to Hulu. You're telling me nobody wanted Alf? That doesn't make any sense to me. In this age of nostalgia and reboots and 80s throwbacks, there's no way that you couldn't find someone to buy Alf. That I can't even process that's nonsense. Noah says Peacock launches April 2020. Well, that is coming up, and we haven't heard a single thing about Battlestar Galactica. Isn't that supposed to be like their flagship show? We better get some news on Battlestar Galactica pretty damn quick. All right, guys, it is now past 10 o'clock. I am going to wrap things up. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for yet another Crazy After Dark, second one of 2020. I got some ideas for videos coming up. We're going to be doing Best of the Year with a special guest. That is recording pretty soon, so it'll be up pretty soon. I'm going to be doing a couple more ranking videos. I don't know. We got some fun stuff coming up. We're going to have fun. So 2020 should be a good year. Joey Baseball says somebody wanted Alf. He probably couldn't agree to the terms. Yeah, you're probably right. Greg says, did I see the Dolomite movie? Dolomite is my name? Yes. Yes, I loved that movie. I absolutely did. Tuffy says, everyone give this a quick like. Thank you, Tuffy. I appreciate that. Do we have any likes? I don't know. On my screen, it looks like we've had 0. Is that... Oh, no, it says we have 11 likes. 11 likes. On this screen, it says 0. On that screen, it says 11. So, and now we're up to 14. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, guys, again, I know I've mentioned this before. It is my dream. It is my goal. It is my hope. to hit 2,000 subs by my birthday, which is March 21st, first full day of spring. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably already are a sub. If you're not, please sub. And if you like the content I'm putting out there, please maybe share some of these videos. If you know someone, a friend who maybe has never watched. If you want to text or email out some of my videos to some of your friends, I'd love to hit 2,000 by my birthday. So we got a couple months. It's March 21st. I did not hit my goal last year. I'd like to hit this one. So if you guys could help spread the word to bring more people into the community, that would be great. Thank you, and keep wearing those pajamas. And I'll see you next week.